Evening, small hour freaks. I'm here to give you a read straight from the hip with lots of lips. And we're finally getting into our weekly weather report with a little wild card read where we dive into the energies in play as we move through this week and just see what's on offer, what opportunities are in store for us. We're working with the trusty combined deck with the Archangel bicycle playing cards to represent the light, and we got the hidden bicycle playing cards holding down the shadow. We're going to look at, both areas of life. I'll take this as my cue to stop. We did have this fly out, okay? We have the Eight of Hearts. And, this is in the light. So I see that the collective is really focusing on leaving behind what they know they've outgrown this week. And it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of heart to follow your heart, right? You have to be very brave to listen to where your soul's calling you to go. I think a lot of you are really feeling internalized right now. You're having a lot of emotions come up. I think, with that Pisces new moon we just had and moving into Pisces season, we're all starting to swim in the deeper end a bit, maybe looking at some emotions we hadn't looked at before. I also got the initial hit that a lot of people are kind of pulling back their energy from social media right now, maybe wanting to limit their time in the feed. Maybe you've been noticing that after you've been online, like on the social media networks, you just kind of feel like your energy is a little bit lower. You're not feeling your best. You might be paying attention to the people you give your time and attention to. You might be paying attention to the type of media that you take in. What effect does it have on you? Do you feel like it's something that's supporting you? Do you feel like it's something that makes you feel empowered? Are you feeling kind of icky after you drop in with certain people or when you tune into certain things? I think you're looking at all of this. I think you're also just kind of getting clear, spending some time with yourself, wanting to just protect your energy. That's what I got, just really wanting to protect your energy, wanting to be in your own energy, not really wanting to connect right now, wanting to connect more deeply with yourself. Maybe you feel like where you've been, you haven't been able to really connect with yourself. Like your energy has been fractured. It's kind of been spread out to other people, places, things, and you're trying to call those parts of you back. I just saw 303 on the clock when I said that. I'm not sure what 303 area code is, but I feel like 303 is significant in terms of like area code. So I'll have to look that up and see what 303 area code is, but that's coming in very strongly for that area. And I got specifically that it's area code. Okay. So pay attention to that. You may have been going through a hard time, but for whoever's in the 303 area code, you may have been going through a really hard time, or you might be dealing with somebody in the 303 area code that really has you kind of like tied up in knots inside of you. Don't worry about it. Okay. There's help coming in, but a big part of this help coming in requires that you let go. You got to let go. There's nothing you can do at this point. This is between them and their own soul's path and their lessons and their karma, and you can't fix it. Okay. And you may be feeling guilty because you have to walk away. A lot of you may be dealing with this kind of theme, right? You may feel guilty for having to walk away, for having to invest in yourself and where your heart is calling you to go now, because you feel like a sense of some kind of obligation or duty to what you've been hanging on to, but you really need to take this risk. Okay. Bottom of the deck energy. We have the Ace of Clubs and it's in reverse. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, we did turn the whole deck upside down. All right. So you're all upside down right now, because you're not looking at things in the right way. How often have you deferred, what you needed in order to kind of like hang around for somebody just to stay stuck? And maybe you're not really helping them by hanging around. Maybe by you finally doing what you need to do to move forward and free yourself. That might be the very thing that person needs to see to change their route in life, to start doing some self reflection and what they need to change and how they need to grow. Either way, I see that, you've invested all you can in something and it's led to nothing. You know, ace of clubs in reverse, that's just no action. Something's just at a standstill. And at a certain point, you have to just trust the wisdom of letting go. That doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Some of you that are in a letting go process, you might really want to limit your time online. It might not be easy to constantly, be crossing network paths, with this person. It might not be easy to see the pictures coming up in your feed and things along these lines, all right? Maybe you just don't want the drama either. If you're in a letting go process, you might want some privacy around that. And I think it's important to preserve that. But I do get this really strongly from the collective, this sort of like, I feel it's almost like readying yourself, steadying yourself, preparing for what's to come. All right. That's my initial download. We are going to get into shuffling these cards now. I do get channeled messages when I do the shuffling. You are welcome to wait until I post the timestamps and jump ahead if you so choose. It's up to you how you receive these readings. I'm just glad you're here dropping in with me. Thank you for spending your time with me. I know time is valuable. But if you jump ahead when you get those timestamps and you skip the shuffling part, you might miss some channeled messages that come in. That's all. You might miss an important memo. That being said, we're just going to do this shuffling right now. We're shuffling for a zodiac wheel layout spread that will basically look at 12 different areas of life as influenced by the houses. And then at the very end, we'll get an oracle card to do like a clarification for the overarching theme to represent that 13th house that was brought in with a Fiacus that got introduced to the Broad Coven channel this year. And I just want to say thank you to all of you who have subscribed, all of you who show up, all of you who comment, like, share, all of that. It means so much to me. I can't tell you. It means a lot to me just to have the messages received. That really touches me. It takes a lot to put yourself out there like this, with this kind of work. So it's so nice to feel supported in this work, and I really appreciate you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, if you dig what I bring to the table, help Broad out, please subscribe. I promise to keep bringing it for you, okay? I promise to keep bringing it. I won't let you down. All right, so again, bottom of the deck energy, we have 2 of diamonds. And so I feel like that's really what is at the forefront this week for all of us in the collective is how can we bring things into balance? And it looks a little different for all of you. For some of you, it's like, how can I bring things into a place of balance with my health? What do I need to change? What negative habits, what, unhealthy behaviors do I really need to shed, release? 8 of cups, energy, that 8 of hearts. What do I need to walk away from to get where I want to go? For some of you, this is about a relationship. For some of you, it's about the work you're doing, it's where you're living, or it's even the way you identify yourself, Maybe you're ready to completely shed your skin and reinvent yourself, this energy coming in. So we'll see what's in store, but let's get to shuffling. Shuffling for the collective, for what's on deck this week, what opportunities are ahead of us, what we face, the challenges, the good stuff, everything that is coming into our sphere, the best choices for us to make. Spirit, give us guidance. Where's the collective at this week? Where is the collective at this week? Where is the collective at this week? All right. Well, it's coming up in the light aspect, so that's off to a positive note. Okay, let's see what the finances are looking like for the collective this week. For the finances looking like, all right. What's coming in for the collective in terms of communication? That came out pretty quick. Oh, tag blasted. That's all I'm gonna say. Really holding up the proceedings right now, man. Okay, we'll talk about it. What's coming in on the home front for the collective this week? What's coming in for on the home front for the collective this week? What's coming in on the home front? The collective this week. What's coming in on the home front for the collective this week? Whoa. All right. Where'd that other one go? Uh-oh, hold on a minute. Uh-oh. Oh no. Let's see. Got locked in jail. Whatever this is got thrown in jail. Ooh. Ooh. I want to be careful about that, collective. Flew inside the little kennel here, okay? We get creative around here. We don't need any kennels for the dog. We don't need any kennels for the dog, so we use it for a table. Oh, everything's real and raw around here, man. Okay, what's coming up in the area of pleasure? Okay. All right, things are getting spicy. This pleasure and romance area for the collective. What's coming up in the area of work and routine for the collective? What's coming up in the area of work and routine for the collective this week? All right. Man, it's so like very practical minded. It's so interesting, so focused on practicalities. What's coming up in the area of committed love relationships, love unions, marriages for the collective this week? What's coming up in the area of love for the collective this week? All right, we got some shadow stuff coming out here, man. It looks like we're going to have some interesting times ahead of us. What's coming up in the area of sex? That flew right out with no hesitation. All right. There's a lot of like dancing with the devil energy going on right now. I'm telling you. It's very, very interesting. The energy that is like swirling about right now. All the characters are coming out. Maybe that's why you're wanting to pull away from social media. You're not wanting to deal with the nonsense right now. You can feel it in the air. You feel it coming in the air tonight. It's heard that Phil Collins song from back in the 80s. Hold on, man. Just hold on. What's coming up for the collective in the area of travel, spirituality, and expansion this week? Okay, another shadow element, man. All right, what's coming up in the area of career, public image, reputation, brand for the collective this week? What's coming up in the area of career, public image? Okay. All right, what is coming up for the collective in the area of friends and community this week? Man, it's just like all shadow. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I'm sorry, at some point you just gotta laugh. What's coming up for the collective in the area of karma, hidden enemies? Ooh, I like this. Okay, so I don't know what's in the first position here, but this card, also in the light, just flew out and covered whatever card is in the first position. It represents us, like where we're at. So I'm getting we're covered. In the case of hidden enemies, it'll be interesting to see what comes out there. And this was supposed to end up over here with that card. All right, let's dive into it. Let's see what's going on here. I'm going to put this down for the read at 1426. 1426. Okay. So, where are we at? Oh, look at that. Air sign collective. So, air sign collective, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, y'all are covered. You are covered by spirit. You're protected from hidden enemies. So, that's a good way to start this off right off the bat. But this is for any strong placement in the chart. Okay, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars. That really opens up the playing field. Even a loaded house, or really just exemplifying those qualities of the Queen of Spades, which is all about upholding what's true, speaking the truth, standing in truth, cutting off what doesn't serve, Queen of Swords in it, which is pretty much like Eight of Cups. When you're done, you're done. You walk away, you move forward cleanly. You do so cleanly. You communicate effectively, succinctly, um, effectively, effectively. Need a little work on that. It is late. It's like 3:33 in the morning over here. But yes, so this is really about you getting honest with yourself, telling yourself the truth. It's about speaking your truth, standing in your truth, looking at things from a very rational place about what you need to cut off, what doesn't serve you. I think that you have been through a lot, and at this point, you just really want to exercise a fair judgment. I think you've really looked at all sides of an equation. You've been in your head long enough, figuring out, which direction will really fulfill you. You've also seen the ways that you have been held back and what ties you to that sort of stagnancy. And you're really wanting to cut cords with anything that's draining your time, your energy, your vitality, your happiness, your pleasure. Your pleasure. I think there's enough swords action. It's like wanting to go beyond the swords. It's like wanting to go more into the realm of pleasure, enjoyment, just feeling like there's fresh life coming in. But I also feel like there's this piece about not wanting the distractions, not wanting outside distractions, really wanting to delineate your space, wanting to delineate your space. I think you feel that there's people approaching you. I think you feel that there's people that want to communicate with you as well. And I think that largely what's going to come to you is people wanting to open up lines of communication, but not really being real about what went down back there. And because of that, this is why I feel there's sort of this Queen of Spades energy where it's like, look, um, I'm okay with letting it go. The Queen of Spades is really good with the deaths of life, knows how to release things fully, cleanly, easily, not leave any trail behind and just move forward. If there's something that needs to be done, the Queen of Spades knows what needs to be done and she executes it. She doesn't waste time. Okay. Once the Queen of Spades arrives at the truth and what feels fair and is in alignment with what's going to be best for the situation as a whole, then that is executed. And it's executed very cleanly. And it's so the Queen of Spades can be free, to move forward. So I feel like a lot of you are exercising these kind of judgments in your life right now, and you may be in the final phase of really integrating everything that you've been sitting with and readying yourself first of all for the communication that is going to be approaching, because I do feel there's going to be people reaching out. And I think you're willing to hear these people out that want to communicate with you, but at the same time, you're going to make your judgment pretty quickly in the conversation. You're going to know if they're just coming back with more of that bullshit, or if they're trying to evade things, just sweep things under the rug, let's pretend everything's fine, or if they're going to be very real and talk about what actually happened. Because there's a quality right now around the collective that it's like once you've seen the truth, you cannot unsee it. So it's sort of like a point of no return moment where certain connections, certain situations, certain times in your life, certain identities that used to fit you, that you've outgrown, that are no longer authentic, these things are falling away. And I see that there's a readiness for it, like almost a steely readiness. But it was like it took a long time to get there, and you had to get drug a hard mile to get to this place where you could finally go, okay, I get it. I let go. I trust. I know it's true. I got to just look at what the facts are in this situation. And I have to be very honest with myself. And sometimes the truth hurts, right? So I feel there's this piece, but with the way that card came out and that message I got with that, uh, all of the air sign collective, you all got some benevolent energy around you. watching over you. In this case, it's covering you. It literally flew out and covered right on top of you. Okay. So I think that you're protected in that truth. And those of you that are really standing in truth, and those of you that are speaking your truth, those of you who are not holding the truth back, not trying to evade the tough stuff, are working to preserve the truth in your situations. Maybe you've seen shady stuff go on in your social circle. Maybe you've seen things that weren't right. Maybe you let it slide for a while. Maybe it's time to speak up. Maybe it's time to stand up for that person that's been talked about, and wasn't around to defend themselves, that kind of thing, gossip, things of this nature. Maybe it's time to start calling people out on gossip, when they're posting stuff on social media, when they're, splashing other people's business on social media, when they're starting arguments with people on social media, or just in other ways invading people's privacy, or just acting out of pocket in a way that doesn't encourage harmony. Maybe it's time to stop feeding that, stop participating in that, stop engaging in that. I think there's some actions taken this week that are really about cutting off what's unhealthy, what's out of balance, what doesn't serve, what's going to keep me from coming into that place of alignment in my life. Okay, it needs to go, because any dragging it behind is just going to slow down the whole show. All right. Now, in the area of finances, we have 5 hearts. So I feel like there's some kind of disappointment around finances. I think maybe you were counting on something coming through for you financially, and it's not what you were hoping for. It's a lot less than you were expecting. Maybe there was some money that was supposed to come in, and it was delayed for a while. You've really been kind of struggling. You've been sort of waiting for this money to help you, pull everything together. And then it comes through and it's a lot less than you expected. I also got this interesting message that some of you may have money come in through an unfortunate experience, like sort of like a wicked blessing. You're grateful for the money on one hand because you were really dealing with some hard, times financially. It's been hard times and bitter tea for a while. But maybe you get the money through some kind of grief, like the ending of a marriage, a separation, a dividing of assets, or someone passes on and they leave you behind, an inheritance, something along these lines. But there's some kind of grief or disappointment connected to finances right now. Some of you worked really hard to get a particular dream off the ground. You like poured so much of your time and energy in this thing, and it just didn't take off the way you thought it would. And you worked so hard and you just didn't see the financial return that you were hoping for. But the thing is that there's still other opportunity, and one thing about on the road to success, sometimes you need to fail. Sometimes the failures are actually the making of your future success. So I think you need to stop looking back at the disappointment and instead look toward the future. And okay, how can I do things differently? Don't give up just because you hit one roadblock. Okay. There's a way to turn this energy around. With it being in the shadow here, I can see that this can be a way you can kind of like sabotage yourself, kind of feeling sorry for yourself, wallowing like, why do I have it so rough financially? So and so is so successful. Maybe this is also a problem with social media. It's like that comparing where you're at to where other people are at. It's sort of like that whole, keeping up with the Joneses. It's illusion. It's illusion, and it's not real. And stop worrying about what other people have and where you feel you lack, or maybe you feel like you can't have the nice things that everybody feels are so important to have some kind of like social standing. And what's that about anyway? That's just superficial BS. But I feel like in some way you're kind of like you're feeling sorry for yourself. And if you were really honest with yourself, like, are you really putting everything into building your financial foundation that you could be? Do you maybe have buyer's remorse? Like, are you always just like blowing through your money as soon as you get it, just like wasting your money instead of investing it in your future? and then you feel bad about it afterwards. And now you're in like this tight spot. Well, you need to like kind of call yourself to the mat, tighten up the reins. This shows that there's some unhealthy behavior around this. And some of you who did get money from like a loss or something like maybe a disability claim, something along these lines, you know, I understand that there's a lot of grief connected with this. And maybe, at times you feel like I just want my health restored, or I just want this person back. I don't want to have, this financial solvency in this way, but there's something about, turning your attention away from what's been difficult, what's been hard, and instead focusing on, well, what is beneficial here. And at least you do have this financial support coming in that can help you move toward a brighter future. But I feel like there's kind of this piece about you can't let yourself wallow right now. And even if you're going through something really heavy and emotional, you gotta pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and you gotta get to work. You need your foundation. It's very important. There's a sense of lack here, okay? So there's something that needs to be done to redress this balance. Now, in the area of communication, we have coming up in the light, Jack of Diamonds. So this is like the slowest moving energy, all right? Very, very slow moving energy. It's an opportunity that's coming in. It's an opportunity to build some kind of stability. Expect some communication around this. This could be like a job opportunity for maybe those of you who lost a job and their self-esteem really took a blow. You might be getting a call back, maybe if you put some resumes in, you'll get a call back, and you'll be able to get yourself lined up with a job. Maybe it's not making as much money as you hoped you would, okay? But there's stability here, right? And there's growth that will come with this job, with this opportunity, with this business opportunity. I really feel like it's some kind of financial business opportunity. It's something to start. It's something solid. It's a beginning. All right. It's going to take time. It's not going to be like you're not going to be successful overnight. Okay. With this opportunity, but it will be stable. All right. And there is something to grow with here. I think you're going to get started with this communication. I also feel like you've been waiting to hear from somebody for a long, long time. This person is finally approaching. It could be an earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. They want to open up the lines of communication. They might want to make you some kind of offer. This could be an emotional offer. This could be somebody who is really committed to like healing things with you. This is what I'm getting. I'm picking up healing. Like they want to have some kind of healing communication. They want to move forward. Like, can we move forward? Can we both admit to each other that we're really invested in this and we want to see further growth in this situation, that we're both in it? Can we both commit to this? I feel like there's some kind of communication like that on the table. And I feel like you waited for it for a really long time. Like this has been a long time coming, but it's one of those things that's kind of like, well, better late than never. So be open to this communication. You don't have to make any decisions, impulsively. Just hear this person out and feel it out. Most importantly, stay in touch with how you're feeling while you're communicating with this person, and see how it feels to you. All right. But those of you who've been out of work and you've been kind of stressed out about that, I do see an opportunity coming in. You'll get word that you got the job or that somebody's got some kind of business opportunity for you where you can start generating some cash flow and pull yourself out of this place where you've been kind of feeling sorry for yourself and wallowing because money's been really tight. All right. And stop the shop therapy because it's not helping. It's not helping matters at all. It's time to kind of restrain yourself, exercise a little restraint, maybe look at different ways of coping, with the difficult emotions you're feeling, with that 5 of Hearts energy. Don't go out and spend your money on frivolous things. Why don't you, go and spend some time in nature or read a book or, tune into some ASMR on YouTube or, there's other ways to relax, let go, and they don't have to break the bank, right? And then in the area of home, okay, We have the 9 of Hearts, okay, and this is coming up in the light, and this is what's really wild, right? This was the card that flew into jail. It's the 3 of Clubs, also in the light. Okay, this 9 of Hearts is all about gratification, fulfillment. Some of you have really been wishing for a new home. You've really been wanting to move out of the atmosphere you're currently in. Maybe in some way it feels very confining. You feel like you're just kind of like in a rut, and you're wanting progression, you're wanting to move forward. I got kind of like you feel like you're in too small of a pond, and you need like a bigger pool to play in. I kind of got that vibe. I also feel like there's something really close to your heart, like some kind of I'm getting a trip. There's some kind of trip that is really close to your heart that you want to make. I feel like there's somebody that you want to see, somebody you want to connect with. There's like wish fulfillment energy around this. But the thing is it's like there's something in this situation where there's a little karma at play here, because 3 of Clubs is all about things moving forward, like something coming in that you've been waiting for. You've been waiting for this wish fulfillment, right? You've been waiting for this wish fulfillment. And yet, this landed in jail. This landed in the dog kennel. So I don't know. Maybe you've been dealing with a dog. Maybe somebody dogged you out. Maybe somebody's, why must I be like that? Chase the cat, nothing but the dog in me. Maybe this person's wanting out of jail. Maybe they're wanting to come back around. Maybe they were a player. Maybe they went out there. Maybe they played the field. Maybe this like split up a happy home. Okay. This could be maybe there was like some kind of third party situation, third party interference. Doesn't have to be another lover. It can be, a meddling friend. It can be a meddling family member. It can be an addiction. It can be a distraction. Okay. Like work, a lot of focus on work can do that. When money goes out the door, love flies out the window. Like that's the same for a reason. If people are dealing with hard financial times, it's hard to feel all warm and fuzzy. Okay, if you're like totally focused on survival. But either way here, I'm picking up more though. It feels to me like somebody was kind of like somebody was a little bit of a dog. Maybe they're in trouble. They're in the pound right now. They want out of the pound. They realize, I don't want that. I want to come back home. I want to come back home. That's coming in for somebody. I also feel like for those of you that are wanting to travel or you're wanting to move to a new home, and this is like wish fulfillment for you, you've been thinking about this for a long time. Some kind of legality, some kind of red tape, something is holding it up. It is not time yet, okay? It is not time yet. You're gonna just have to wait. And this coming in, I have to bring it in with that 3 of Wands, especially with the story about, kind of being in jail, on a time out. For those of you that are tempted, by somebody that's already living with somebody in a relationship, you might want to hold off. You might want to hold your horses. I mean, 9 of Hearts, it's wish fulfillment, but it's also like personal gratification. It can be a very like selfish kind of energy where it's not considerate of other people. Um, with this being in the light, I feel like this is kind of saying like, look, you can have your wish for the kind of love you'd like to have in your life. But you just have to be open and trust that what's meant for you will never be taken from you. And it can't be about coveting something, that is already otherwise, you know, engaged. Maybe this is somebody who's engaged. Okay. That coming in. I feel there is some kind of like temptation here, but it's like if you go in this direction, it may be your wish fulfillment, but it's just going to gratify you in the moment. And how does it affect the situation and the people involved long term? There's something here that puts somebody in spiritual jail if they go that route. Okay. This is something to consider. All right. Then in the house of and as I set that down, that 9 of hearts just spun around. Okay. Kind of interesting. And then in the area of romance, we have 8 of diamonds, and this is coming up in the shadow. Again, this is, that energy. It's like where, working with somebody romantically, there's something about it that in order to work with this person, you have to do it in the dark. You have to kind of like sneak around to have interaction with this person. There's something about it that's compromising. For some of you, this may be like an office affair. This could be something going on the work front, that you have to keep quiet. Some of you could be, entertaining something romantic with your boss. Somehow here though, there is this energy about finances being tied with pleasure, being tied with romance, and in a compromising way, okay, with it coming up in the shadow. Some of you may be, dealing with somebody who's working you for your money. They're talking a good talk, but they're just interested in financial stability. Some of you may have been giving money to somebody, who all of a sudden goes ghost on you. I don't know. This piece coming in there though, there's somebody that wants to work with you, or you're wanting to work with somebody on a romantic level, and it's very enticing to you, but there's something very compromising about it. And something about it has to be kept hidden. It has to be kept in the dark. It's clandestine, and it involves money too. There's a money piece to it. So I do believe that somebody's benefiting financially in this situation for sure, or they think they will if they connect with this person. Okay. Coming up in the area of work and routine, we have the King of Diamonds coming up in the light. Okay. Mind on your money and your money on your mind. All right. Earth sign collected there, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I see that you're really going to get serious about your work. You're going to start bringing more structure, organization into your day. You're really going to start to look at where your money's going, and you're going to start redirecting your funds to where it's going to provide the most growth for you in what you're developing on a work level. I also see, for those of you who are employed, some kind of big like level up. You're going to get some kind of promotion at your work, a raise, something that you'll be really happy about. You're going to find out that you did get accepted to, kind of take charge of that project. This is an opportunity for you to really like shine and be seen for what you bring to the table. It's going to be like a big step up in your career. That's what I'm getting. And some of you are really seeing financial growth as the result of, redirecting the energy that you were putting into other kind of like just distractions, time wasters. Like you've cut off the stuff that was distracting you. And like once you start to get focused and you really put your energy into what you're growing on a business level, I see like you're getting good traction, good financial growth coming in for you. That looks really good, but it's all about you streamlining your routine and getting really serious about how you're spending your time. You're cutting off distractions. I think you're doing the really kind of like boring stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you're really putting yourself on a schedule. Make sure that you're getting good sleep. I feel like you're going to be working really hard and you're going to be in demand. There's like some kind of level up required here too, that requires that you're getting adequate rest, that you take time to kind of like just chill out a bit, because if you start burning the candle at both ends, you're not going to be able to bring your best to the work you're doing. So important. Some of you are really getting into strength training too. I just thought that, you've been hitting the weights, you're starting to see changes in your body, you're feeling good. You're noticing as you lift weights, you feel more and more confident. Like it's giving you like this inner strength that feels really good to you. Okay, in the area of marriage, committed relationships, I mean, I'm sorry, it's just really rough right now, man. in the shadow, 5 of spades. Okay. This is like, something's up. Somebody is not telling you the truth. Remember how we started out with this? That somebody is feeding you a line of bullshit. Ted just shook his head. Yes, like they're telling you one thing, but everything inside of you, your radar is going off. Like this person is doing something behind your back. And Ted said yes again. I mean, this is betrayal. Okay. So, betrayal can look like many different things, right? Okay. Can it be cheating? Yeah, sure. This can be somebody stepping out on a relationship, but there's more than one way to betray somebody. This can be just lying to somebody in general, not being honest with somebody, telling somebody what you think they want to hear instead of telling them the truth is betrayal, because then you're violating that person's ability to make an educated choice about what's right for them. Omitting the truth is also a betrayal, okay? Or taking the intimate details of your relationship and going and like talking about them to other people, talking behind your partner's back, engaging in gossip. This is betrayal. It's being disloyal, okay? So I feel like there's something that's being illuminated here. It can also be like somebody's dipping into, the savings. And we see a lot of financial stuff happening here too. So this could be somebody's dipping into the savings and they're not like letting you know what's going on with that. Or somebody's got some kind of addiction, something they're struggling with and they're keeping it hidden. I feel like there's something that has been a lie that is getting exposed this week. I think that you knew about this, but now it's coming up to be addressed. And it was interesting because when I said hidden, my other light just suddenly went out, and I have no idea why it did that, but it did. And I think that's pretty significant. Okay. Coming up in the area of sex, death, transformation, subconscious, intrigue, all that stuff. We got a Jack of Hearts, okay, in the shadow. This is a romantic invitation that is not coming from a good place. This is acting out of sexual impulse, really. And it's a very manipulative energy with it being in the shadow. This is water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. When it's in the shadow, it's extremely manipulative, though. Okay. This is somebody just wanting what they want. It's kind of like, I don't know why I just got this. I got pick me kind of energy. So this makes me feel like there's something going on here that is not right. Again, it kind of gives me the vibes of maybe somebody using emotions to manipulate somebody. Maybe they know that somebody desires them, and so they're kind of playing on their emotions to get what they want. That's what it kind of gives me the vibe of. Either way, I feel like there's some kind of advance here, some kind of invitation. It might be coming off like, oh, yeah, I have all these feelings. I'm really invested in you and I want a future with you. It may be like all that pillow talk. It may sound really good, but there's something manipulative here. And this might be somebody who like gets what they want from you, whether that's sexually or financially, and then they ghost you. And you're left wondering what happened. This could be somebody like love bombing you. It's got that kind of energy, So do be mindful of that, and be mindful if you're considering moving this way. All right. It doesn't lead to anything good. It's in the shadow. We want to be careful how we move at this time, because in July, we're going to have the South Node move into Libra, and we're all going to have our heart weighed against the feather in that scales of justice. Okay. So it's important that we're very mindful about how we move right now, and that we examine our motivations. I would also say that with the Knight of Cups, before you go moving forward towards something that you feel tempted to do, even though it's not really in alignment with integrity, take a pause and really question, like, what is that really going to get you? What are the long-term ramifications of that? There's a lot about looking at longevity here, not just being in something for the moment. Okay. In the area of travel, in the area of travel and expansion and spirituality, look at this. We got the Ace of Spades, and it's in the shadow. This is like something needs to be brought to an end. So again, this invitation coming in, maybe somebody wants to travel to see you, or maybe you want to travel to see them, or you want to go on a lover's jaunt with each other, but maybe this person is already in a relationship, or there's something otherwise compromising about the situation. This is a message of saying, like, no, this needs to be brought to an end. This is not something you should be doing. I feel like there's something that's going on here. It's been a secret. Okay, we see that with hidden. I think that you know that there's no way to move forward with this thing and be in integrity. You know this. The higher part of you knows this. It sees this, you know. Your internal vision sees this. You know that this won't turn out well if you go in this direction. Whatever you do at this time, it needs to be something that you would be okay with it being exposed. If you're moving in a way where you have to keep something secret right now, and you know that it's going to cause problems if it comes out, you're going to really not like the end result of this. This could be something really serious going down, actually. You could be stepping into dangerous territory. Be careful of people that you don't know very well that are asking you to, like, travel to see them. Like, if you've met somebody online and you don't know this person in, like, day-to-day life, please be careful. There's something here where you really have to be careful. Okay, you have to be careful. If you have a trip that's, I don't know why I'm getting this, I feel like it's a warning, but if there's a trip, if there's a trip that you were planning and you're starting to have doubts about it, you're having second thoughts, you're feeling a little uneasy about it, at the very least, I would put this on pause. Okay, I think for most of you, this is about you're wanting to expand into an area, but you know, in order to do it, you can only do it if you do it unethically, and it's saying stop. Okay, stop. You know, it goes against your higher understanding, your higher vision. If you choose to do that, then you're operating blindly. You're not going to like the result. It will turn out very much in the negative. Okay, so this is about temptation. It's about overcoming temptation. It's about not desiring to advance at all costs without consideration of how it affects, you know, all parties involved in this situation. This is about honesty. It's not about hiding. It's about coming out and into the open with things, putting things on the table where everything can be upfront. All right. Doesn't work out well for those who choose to ignore that. Now, in the area of career, again, it looks like we got manipulative water sign energy, I have to tell you. In the area of career, public image, brand, reputation, we got the Queen of Hearts in the shadow. Okay, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. This is, you know, I feel like if you're trying to get ahead in some way that requires you to step on others, suppress others, take advantage of others, manipulate others, you are not going to like the way that goes down. This is having something exposed that can really affect your public standing, you know, and it certainly won't be good for business at all, at all. This is almost, it almost gives me the vibes too of this could be somebody who, like, presents themselves to be very spiritual, you know, very healing, you know, they kind of have a certain air about them, but it's kind of hiding their manipulation. Ted just shook his head. Yeah. So this could be somebody who, you know, is working in some kind of healing field, but they're not being completely ethical in the way that they're working with people. feels like almost like making the clients dependent on them, like not empowering their clients, but making their clients dependent on them. Doing it all for the sake of money, but like trying to come off like I'm here to help you, I'm here to serve you, but there's some kind of like manipulation about it. I feel like this is going to be exposed. Somebody's true colors are going to be seen, and it's not going to be very good as far as their public standing is concerned. There's a lot of warnings in this read coming through about really examining your actions, what places they're coming from, understanding your emotional motivations, understanding the long term ramifications, and being mindful of what you do. I also see like this could be somebody who gets caught in some kind of scandal, okay, with that Queen of Hearts, and it gets exposed, and that really impacts their life on a greater scale than they thought it could. It really sets them back in terms of what they're trying to build. So be wise about the moves you make, collective, so you don't put yourself in this position. Just hold up a minute. It's better to tell the truth, even if the truth is ugly, than it is to like sneak around, manipulate, pull strings, play games. That never works out in the end, right? Be mindful of that. Now, we kind of got a dual message here. This is coming up in the area of friends, okay? We have the Four of Hearts. It's friends and community. It's in the shadow. And we have the Five of Clubs, and that's in the light. And so I feel like this is a case where, I think that you've been embroiled in a drama for a while in your friend circle or in your community. I think something has been really messy. Maybe there's been arguments going on, conflict. Maybe there's been a lot of gossip. Maybe a lot of this has been happening online because we did have that message come in pretty strongly. I feel like, you've been very honest with yourself with this coming up in the shadow with the Four of Hearts. I think you realize that you kind of got a little too attached to kind of engaging with this back and forth. Maybe you were in denial about that for a while. I think you're starting to be honest with yourself and noticing the ways that you've kind of like encouraged the drama in the past, or you participated in some level. I feel like you're transforming this behavior, you're dropping it, and you're moving away from anything that is going to create conflict or cause further problems. You're calling people out when they're gossiping. You're not engaging in those conversations before. I feel like you're cutting off connections and ties with friends and people who move like this. And I think this is actually very positive. It's like sometimes we need to take moves like this. We need to transform things, even when it isn't easy, right? And sometimes we have to look at those parts in ourselves and notice the ways that we kind of feed these things. And Ted seems to agree with all of that. Okay, and then in the area of karma and hidden enemies, and I just shook his head, hidden enemies, and what's in need of evolution. I mean, we got a lot of options here, okay? And it's coming up in the light. So I feel like this is kind of like 7 is a number of spirit, right? And this is a 7 year too. So this is a very important year in terms of like the choices we make from a soul level. And I feel like this is just sort of like a cautionary warning from spirit. It's like, make sure that you're making your choices and exploring your options from the part of you that operates out of your higher consciousness, the part of you that wants to uphold what is in alignment with integrity, the part of you that is considering the bigger picture, all right? And spirit's going to bring you a lot of options that will actually be things that can really fill your cup in a fulfilling way, in a positive way. But in order to really receive these blessings that want to come in, you got to transform some of these, lower vibe behaviors that are holding you back. A lot of transformation needs to come in this situation. It's really important. I feel like there's a lot of karmic ties that are being dressed, with this options energy. I feel like there's a lot of people that are going to be coming at you. And you're going to be learning a lot about the people that maybe you thought they were friends, and you're starting to realize that that might not be the case. And you might have to explore, a new crowd of people. Some of you will be connecting with new people. Some of you are really changing things up, because you've realized it's time for some big change to happen in your life. I'm just noticing, I'm noticing 7-7, that's 14-5, you might want a new beginning. You might want to build your life on a whole new foundation, and you realize there's a lot you need to let go of and transform, and you need to explore new options. I actually think that could be really helpful. Okay, so let's get a overarching theme energy. It looks like kind of an intense week, to be honest with you. I'm glad there's that coverage. It's almost like spirit saying, okay, you may be tempted to do some of these things, but can you just hold your horses? I'm preparing some better options for you. If you just hold out a little bit longer, I know you're frustrated. I know you want to move forward. Sometimes it takes time to prepare something really solid that will move you forward in an empowering way. And it was 56 on the clock when I said that. It's like, yeah, your gifts are being prepared. It's all about timing. Look at that bottom of the deck energy, infinity. All right. But Ouroboros, the snake eats itself. It's like you have to eat up all of those things inside of you so you can transform them and transmute them. Those things that hold you back from coming into this place of alignment, balance of power, and the blessings that come with that. All right. So just overarching theme for the collective. What is coming in for the collective this week? All right, yeah, look at the crossroads here. Ooh, we got 2 cards. Oh man, lightning. Okay, so here's a tower coming from spirit. Something is going to come down here, and it's related to the dogs. Okay, so the dogs are all about loyalty. So I think this is a week where some things are going to be exposed that's going to make you question people's loyalty. And it's also going to make you question what you want to be loyal to moving into the future. So 10s are about bringing things to completion, but they're also about a new beginning that brings gifts on the other side of it. So I feel like you need to buckle up, collective. There's some kind of tower this coming week. Something is being exposed. There's a truth that's coming out, and I believe it's around people who have come off like they were loyal, put on that front. But maybe some of your friends haven't really been the friends they claim to be. There's something you need to be aware of here. But whatever gets exposed, I feel like it's a release and it's a relief, and you head in a new direction that brings with it blessings, and new hope for the future. But you can't be around people that are working against you and think that they're loyal to you, because that's really going to block your blessings. So you're going to be dealing with saboteurs that, smile to your face while they're stabbing you in your back. It's not a good thing. And maybe that means you have to work extra hard with this vigor. You have to go your own way, and maybe you have to go on your own. And it's hard, it's hard when you have to walk alone. But this is about you, finding that bridge between your head and your heart, and breathing fresh life into your world again. You don't need to be held back by this stuff. And it's so wild. The other split of the deck, there's the dogs. I feel it's like by going your own way, investing in yourself, and heading in new directions, you'll align with the right people. The right people will come to your path. And these are people that you can build, true connections with. And next time you won't doubt yourself when something doesn't feel right to you. Next time you won't bite your tongue. You'll call it out right away, Next time you'll do things differently. So don't beat yourself up because you knew it all along. And then, you find out something hard to swallow, and you kind of like take on that guilt onto yourself for not seeing it sooner, not calling it out sooner, sticking around and putting up with it because you didn't want to look at the hard truth. Like, that's not going to serve you. This is really about transforming those behaviors and setting yourself free. The truth sets you free, and it brings you into that place of infinity and balance, and the people who you're really meant to be with. So trust it, trust the release. And I'll be doing a healing circle for the community tomorrow night. I'll put out a video with some work to really anchor this message that came in.